I'm Alex Weeks, owner of Northbuilt Construction. I just want to take some time to explain kind of who I am, where I come from, what I'm about, and give you a little insight to just me in general. I grew up in a small town in northeast Montana, about 50 miles from Canada and 20 miles from North Dakota. Um, Small town, no stoplights. It was a great way to grow up. Um, couldn't have asked for a better childhood. Great family. It was everything I could have ever hoped for, and everything I hope to give our children. I got into construction sort of by default. Kind of ran in the family. Our My grandfather, my mom's dad, owned the local lumber yard in town, who then and my uncle then bought it or bought into that after that, and I worked with them both for years, kind of growing up, and learned the trades from them. And that's kind of where my background and where my initial sort of love for the industry and love for construction came from, is from my uncle and my grandfather. It was a lot of fun. So that's just a general sense of how I grew up. I did a little exercise, and my life mission boiled down to three key points: exercise, educate, and explore. On the exercise part, I like to jog, bike, take the dog for a walk a couple times a week, whatever that may be. Get out and get some movement. I just find that I feel better and live a better lifestyle when I do that. So that's one key part of my life that I like to keep going, and I do it pretty regularly. Educate. I'm always looking to learn new things, try out new softwares, new techniques, learn how to better serve our customers and clients. This whole YouTube thing and this video sort of series is all new to me. Hopefully it's exciting and rewarding to you guys. And that's kind of where I'm at with that educational part of my life mission. And then explore. I think it's really important, at least in my eyes, to get out and kind of see the world, and even if it's just in your backyard, right? Like, get your feet in the dirt and see how it feels, and get back to some of those things that maybe we've kind of forgot about. I took a month-long solo trip to Alaska, drove the Alaskan highway, and that was awesome. So that's my most recent exploration, I guess, feat, to kind of round out those top three. So life mission, exercise, educate, and explore. That's kind of how I try to live my life in those three buckets. I think those are the most important to me, and I get the most value back when I sort of pay attention to those. Remodeling. Why do I love remodeling? Why am I in the space? How did I get here? Um, and again, what do I love? What do I love about it? And what keeps me here? I find a lot of value in my own space, my own home, and how it makes me feel. I think our space plays a lot into our mood. I think it affects kind of how we operate, and ultimately can kind of positively or negatively affect us day to day. And I think if we can come in and brighten up a space, remodel something, change it for the better, I think you end up with an overall better quality of life. I think COVID kind of taught us that our space that we operate in, when it becomes confined and we really have to be in one spot, like it or not, agree with it or disagree with it, doesn't matter. How that space makes us feel is important, and I think it's wise that we realize that and that we pay attention to it, kind of in all forms and fashions. Whether that's having some plants inside, or that's cleaning up an old bathroom to get it fresh and make you feel clean, make you feel bright. I think it brings energy to us, and it kind of livens up us as people internally, as well as brings value to our property, which helps in other facets of our life as we go about it. So long story short, I love remodeling because I think the spaces that we occupy are very important to our quality of life. I think that's really what it boils down to. What else do I got up here? Education. I went to college at Montana State University. I came out of there with a bachelor's degree in construction engineering technology. Woo! A lot of fancy words for kind of a glorified project management program. Great program. I mean, I enjoyed my time there. It was fun. I learned the things I needed to learn. I got that piece of paper, but ultimately, real world experience is what kind of has brought me to this point. One thing that I am thankful for, that program allowed me to sit for the fundamentals of engineering exam. I took the civil portion of that, or the civil leg of that, which allows me to be, if I wanted to be, a civil engineer. I don't really see myself pursuing that, at least not in the near future. But it's always kind of fun to have that in my back pocket if I ever wanted to switch gears and go that route. And it was a challenging, feat. So proud of myself for doing that when I did do it, and now I've got it. From that, I kind of initially coming out of college thought I wanted to be a civil engineer. So some of my work experience involved that right out of college. Worked for a civil engineering firm over in North Dakota for not that long, 10 months, I think, maybe. It just wasn't a great fit at that time in my life. They also weren't the best company for me to be involved with. They were, it was just a little difficult being that young and not really knowing what I was doing. Not having a lot of guidance was a tough part for me. So didn't last very long in that field. Also didn't bring me too much joy and fulfillment. So I had a little stint in civil engineering. Really respect those guys. I talk to them occasionally. They're back in Bozeman, and wish them the best. Got some miscellaneous stuff. I poured some concrete all throughout college, foundations, flat work, slabs, structural, all that kind of stuff. Learned that for a couple semesters in college. That was fun. Hard work, but it kind of drove home the importance of a solid foundation, starting at the ground up and making sure that that's all kind of on point and per plan and everything lines up and is what it is in the places that it needs to be, so that the entire structure kind of has a good start. I sold some windows for a while. That was here locally in Denver. That was, again, well-rounded experience. I didn't not like that. It just didn't seem to pan out. Storm repair and restoration. I've done some roofing sales. I've put on roofs. I've took off roofs. I've got plenty of roofing knowledge. That was a fun time of my life. Out in the Midwest for a month and a half with a good team out there, helping some people get back on their feet after a big storm came through there. Fulfilling work, hard, very, very difficult. Schedule was very demanding. I mean, a lot of calls, a lot of clients, a lot of people. Obviously, it's a pretty, depending on the size of the storm, could be a pretty massive, area that needs to be covered and addressed, and then dealing with insurance companies and that whole process, and kind of how they like to operate, and then going through all those, steps from A to Z to get from this is damaged to here, let us help you repair it, to now your roof is back on, or your siding is complete, or your windows are repaired. Custom homes. Built some custom homes with my grandfather and uncle in northeastern Montana. Worked on some custom homes while in Bozeman throughout college. I haven't worked on any custom homes in Colorado. But yeah, most of my custom home building experience was earlier on in my career as a framer, a carpenter, did some drywall finishing and things of that nature. What else we got? Commercial construction. I worked for 2 large commercial construction firms, one out of Montana, and then another, which was an ENR Top 500 here in Colorado. The Colorado experience was eye-opening, life-changing, if you will. They taught me a lot of lessons of, what to do, what not to do, how to run a good project, and what goes into a large commercial construction project, and how to get the most efficient project management systems implemented to hit key milestones and make sure your project is moving forward. Those bigger projects have such big time frames, such big schedules that it's critical that those things be managed really well all the way through. Otherwise, you hit some snags or some problems, and it's tough to kind of get back on track. So let's see. Most recently, I've been a building consultant. Usually, the building consultant side of things is on the exterior facade. So siding, exterior claddings, roofing, brickwork, masonry, fenestrations such as doors, windows, storefronts, curtain walls. The typical building consulting that I would do was on large commercial projects, mostly new construction. Some rebuilds or remodels or additions, but mostly new construction. Air barrier testing, window and fenestration testing, roof observations, general site observations, and quality observations. That has really taught me what to look for and how to analyze risk. There are certain degrees and variations of risk, and what do we need to pay attention to? What's important? What is important, but maybe not as risky? And how do we balance what an owner's group or owner is expecting and wanting and requesting and maybe demanding of a project team, as well as what is reasonable, what is feasible, and what is needed to, sort of complete the envelope or tie up a certain detail or make sure flashing is doing what flashing needs to do, or pointing out issues, etc. So that's been a great experience and one that definitely keep a lot of key points and learn experiences from that consulting firm. Lastly, remodeling. There we are, the bread and butter. That's why we're here. Like I said earlier, I think that the space we occupy is a reflection of our quality of life and an important piece to ensuring that quality of life and that experience is enjoyable. So that's a little bit on me. If you've got questions, you want to reach out, maybe you want to chat a little further about a particular problem or something that maybe got a remodel coming up, feel free. Give me a shout. I'll link my contact info below on this video. You can also go to the website, northbuiltconstruction.com. You can find us through there. Social channels, reach out, anything like that. I'd love to have a conversation around anything and everything construction, building related, questions, concerns, problems. Maybe you've got a project somewhere else in the country and you want to talk about it. I always entertain and enjoy talking about construction in general, not necessarily talking about myself, but I like talking about the projects and things that we've got going on in the built environment and how we can build better together. So thanks for watching.